Yo, what's up? I'm gonna break down your natal chart. So, just to make sure you're born on July 4th, 1996 at 1 p.m. So, I'm gonna start with your ascendant, and that's the rising sign. So, when you were born, Libra was rising east. So, this means you could use your sweetness as a form of manipulation. You take a artistic balance, aesthetic approach. You take a balanced and diplomatic approach. You're sweet, nice, and agreeable. You're sociable, charming. You're physically appealing to others. Um, you have aesthetic sense. You have artistic viewpoint, and you're attuned to beauty. You're unable to make a decision in your life direction, and you always rely on someone else to make decisions for you. You take a codependent approach to life. You could be type of person you always take the opposite viewpoint. Um, you're elegant. You dress elegant and with taste. You have an appearance of sweetness and cooperative. You always need to seem fair, just, cooperative, and agreeable, just to prevent from conflict. So, what this means is your outside mask is a Libra. So when people first meet you, your outside magnetism is a Libra. That's the impression you give off to people. Your outside vibration is a Libra. Your vibe is a Libra. And this also means that one of the things you have to focus on in life is to help other people. Which is why, if you remember the other day, I told you what a coincidence that you ended up helping me out with editing my papers. That's because of your outside magnetism. Your outside magnetized my need for help, if that makes sense. So, and we have the North Node here, and this pretty much means that one of your life duties is to focus on yourself. And since the North Node is here, that means the South Node is in the 7th house. Okay, so this means that the more you focus on yourself, your reward is gonna be relationships. But if you chase relationships and forget about yourself, it's not gonna go right. So if you want things to go right, you have to focus on yourself first. So second, we have Scorpio in the 2nd house. I forgot Chiron is here too. Okay, Chiron is an important asteroid. Chiron is the asteroid, is the teacher, the unlocker. It's where you need to heal, where you need to take a holistic approach. So it's in the 1st house. This means you're supposed to seek the fullest potential in regards to yourself. You may feel that in some way eccentric and unusual. You may need to bring healing in that area through knowledge of suffering, and you need to help others attain healing. You also gain satisfaction through helping others to grow themselves. And Chiron is in Libra, so this means you need to bring about the fullest potential in the diplomatic and harmonious way, in which is dealt with like comfort, harmony, art. The answer to your problems lies in the missing part of something like seeking balance and justice too strongly. This means you could be sabotaging your success to do with balance and justice, with those matters. It's either you're not doing those, or you need to or you need to do it. It's one or the other, and you would know better than me. And the solution to your problems involves communications, relationships, and logic. So next we have Chiron. We have Scorpio in the 2nd house. Okay, and This means you have intense feelings about money. You could have a love relationship with money. You probably have intense interest in personal finance, personal financial security. You could be intensively possessive of personal finances, and you could be type of person you could be get jealous when other people have more financial freedom. This means you value intensity, passion, and sexuality. You value suspicion and being secretive. You could be very secretive about personal finances. You could be the type of person that hides your money. Your overhaul of belongings. You find value in extremes. You like to own things that cause extreme reactions to others. You could be collecting items related to occults, mysteries, and wickedness. You feel resentful and bitter about money, and you're supposed to you have to and you feel resentful and bitter about having to earn a living. You pretty much you get bitter just because you don't have a free life. If that makes sense. Your transformations in life is going to come from lack of money and abundance. You could be type of person you make all or nothing financial decisions like life or death matters. You could be secretive and hiding collections. Sex is a survival need for you. Passion and intensity are survival needs. Research is a survival need. Transformation is a survival need. So I have Pluto over here. And Pluto is the planet of transformation, of highs and lows, intense life lessons. Pluto shows what you need to eliminate, purge, redeem, and regenerate. It's in the second house, so that means you're resourceful in the sense of suffering setbacks, but you always quickly regenerate finances. You may have a strong drive for wealth. You may fundamentally change priorities and values in life. You may be obsessive about matters related to money or even food. You have the power to uncover deep hidden motives about the need for security in all its forms. And if you notice, Pluto is conjunct with the third house. Okay, so that means your second house and third house are working together. So this means you're extremely curious. You may know everything involved in your local area. You can move around a lot. You regenerate yourself in new places. You have a secret urge to communicate with matters related to people and network. You have the ability to uncover deep thoughts and feelings related to communication, your neighborhood, or your mind. You have a lot of abilities in science and educational research. So next we have the fourth house, and that's in Capricorn. So that means you appreciate structure and form. You're gonna be an auditarian and strict parent. You probably had a strict upbringing. You probably had a conservative upbringing. You were probably growing up in a conservative family or living with your grandparents. You had ambitious family, a recognizable family, even a family with reputation. You had stern parents, lack of joy in the home life. You like to you prefer a useful and practical home rather than attractive. You're conservative at the core. You come from family of hardworking people. You're gonna be a strict disciplinarian in the household. You probably came from a traditional family, like upholding the traditions of a country. You're an authority on your country and your family. You're privately serious and ambitious. You're privately caring for reputation. You're always supposed to be working hard on your house. You're supposed to have ambitious plans for your home and property. You're always supposed to protect the family and home. And you probably had a repressive upbringing. So we have Jupiter here. And Jupiter is the gift from life. Okay, it's where you're gonna find expansion. What your weapon in life is. What your higher self desires, where you're gonna find higher wisdom, where you have to do the impossible. It's in the fourth house, so this means the caring parent, which I think in your chart is the mom, because there's one dominant parent, and there's one caring parent. So the caring parent, probably the mom, was your main teacher and your gift. This means you're a happy-go-lucky person. You're always meant to have a big home. You're confident and optimistic about things you're familiar with. You're friendly, generous, and patriotic. Your fortune is gonna increase as you grow older, and your gift is gonna come with your family. This means you're probably involved in family traditions, ethnic origins, and or your nation. This means you have inspirational dreams. You value memories and souvenirs. You benefit a lot from self growth, as your truth is seeked about the inner nature. And this means your assets in life is going to come from your mom, your wife, or your family. Mom or the caring parent. I think it's your mom, but one or the other. And Jupiter is in Capricorn. So this means you're able to expand in areas related to business. You could turn a small advantage into something big. You have a tendency to be over optimistic, and you could be over optimistic to make sure your success is steady. You have a human side to management and business. You're big-hearted and honest. You could have problems such as being careful over the pennies, or spending the money like crazy, or making money to give it away, or spending it. Next we have Uranus here, and Uranus is the planet of freedom, awaken. It's where you find inspiration, okay, where you're gonna be inventive, where your rule breaking is gonna come out, where your rebel nature is gonna come out, where you're gonna have a lot of unexpected changes, disruptions. And it's in the fourth house, so that means you probably had your early history and upbringing may have been unconventional, and your present home is probably different from others. This means you could be type person you make sudden changes in living spaces or moving houses frequently. You may bring about sudden and unexpected changes to your family's history or changes. Unexpected changes to your family is gonna affect you. You feel most at home when there are changes, and you're supposed to create your home in an unusual way. So we have Neptune next. Neptune is where you're going to find transcendence, where you're going to find delusion in life, where you're going to find a mystery, where you're going to spiritually gain, where you're going to have a lot of experience. It's in the fourth house, so that means you're good at emphasizing with others and family members. You're caring and nutritive towards others. You're supposed to self-sacrifice in relation to family and parents, as your parents are. You could have feelings of guilt in relation to parental figures or your grandparents. You could have problems with ethnic origins, your family tradition, or your country, but you can bring amazing solutions unexpectedly. So next we have Aquarius in the fifth house, and this means you're going to be treating your children or other children as friends and equals. You're going to be viewing children as peers, taking up the causes of children. You have the inability to get personally involved with children. You're going to have an aloof attitude towards children. You're always supposed to be crusading on behalf of your personal interest. You have diverse interests. You're meant to have hobbies in science, technology, astrology, something to do with groups. You probably have bizarre, unusual hobbies or pleasures. You could be taking bizarre risks. You need excitement and unpredictability in romance. You could have a love of gambling because of your unpredictability. You have a lot of love for unpredictable sports and music. You're always gonna have strange love, and you have unusual way of expressing love. You're attracted to weirdos and geeks. You're gonna magnetize those type of people. You're gonna have, or you're supposed to have romantic involvement with geniuses, intellectuals. You're into experimental music, art, or performance. You're always being cool in romance. You could have a lot of shocking love affairs, and you have magnetic attraction. So I have the moon here. The moon is your personality, your emotional desire, your feelings, what you need, what makes you happy, where you need security. So the moon is in, if you notice, the moon is in Pisces, and the Aquarius is personality. I mean, the moon is in Pisces and the house is in Aquarius. So this means your personality is half Pisces and half Aquarius. Or better to say, goes from Aquarius to Pisces. So this means your emotional balance comes from relationships and nurturement. You always follow balance and harmony. You react to others in a friendly and fair way. You're thoughtful and always taking up new activities and ways to interact with others. It may be difficult for you to understand emotions, and you may be concerned about whether or not you're being sincere or not. You're very sensitive to emotions and your environment. You're controlled by emotions in others. You're sympathetic about emotions in others. You're affected by emotions rather than affecting others. You could have many challenging aspects towards life due to your intense emotional reactions. And the moon is in the 5th house, so that means you're creative with emotion. You probably had a creative mom. Your emotional state is based on creativity and self-expression. You have emotional attachment to culture. You feel at home when you're having fun. You enjoy pleasures. You love children, and you're very sentimental towards them. You're dramatic and you're good at expressing emotions. You're romantic and you enjoy games. So next we have Aries in the 6th house, 7th house. So that means you're gonna have a lot of conflicts, always happening with serious partners, and your serious partner is gonna be combative. You can have a strong relationship with a lot of energy and tender loving, and that's what you need to make it work. And you're gonna have a lot of tension and fights with partners. So this means marriage, any sort of serious relationship. Okay, so a lot of conflict. So we have Saturn here. Saturn's the teacher, the father, where you have karma, what you must discipline, what you must do, where you have responsibility, where you have hard work, where life is going to limit and reject you. So it's in the 7th house. So that means in life, you're restricted and punished from relationships. So this means you're probably going to get married later in life. You're going to find serious relationships later in life. Around 28 years old. Okay? This means you're restricted from having a balance with everyone. Or actually, I'm sorry, you're restricted from having conflict with everyone. Life wants you to step away from that and not deal with conflicts. And Saturn's in Aries, so that means you could have a lot of conflict between tendency to act first and initiate with tendency to hold back and be controlled. This means you have great staying power, and that's going to keep you out of trouble. You have a lot of you have balance of desires to do things quick and straight away with desire to look before leaping with desire to work hard or to complete the job. and you're less likely to give up when boredom is felt. This means you're terrified of being a person of conflict, and you need to learn to deal with that. You need to be more open and more compulsive. This means you need to put a lot of work plus action. This means you're a workaholic, and you're also um, you're also restricted from starting relationships. Life is making that difficult for you. So starting relationships is going to be very hard for you because that's where your karma is. That's what you must discipline. So next we have Venus at Gemini in the ninth house, and that means you're the type of person, you need to know a little bit about everything. You could be copying others' cultures, others' knowledge. This means you're supposed to incorporate. You could be incorporating, not supposed to, but you're gonna be incorporating other cultures into your life. You could be publish books and magazines about writing. It means you follow philosophy that could condone stealing. You encourage a philosophy that encourages mental alertness or curiosity. This means you're gonna be spending short amount of time in different places. You always know where to go and what to do anywhere. You're always gonna be the type of person, you stay on top of trends and cultures and knowledge. You believe in the power of communication and practice what is preached. That means you're supposed to find meaning in everyday life. You have the lack of ability to engage people of different cultures with real depth emotion. You have intellectual understanding of world events, which could make you in some sort of communication major. So I have Venus over here. Venus is the planet of enjoyment, where life is going to seduce you, where you're going to find attraction in life, where you need to support and be supported, where you're going to find materials. So it's in the ninth house. That means you find pleasure and happiness and philosophy, higher education, and long distance traveling, or any unfamiliar places. This means foreign matters and ideas are attracted to you. This means you find beauty in foreign or exotic buildings, architecture, people, beliefs, or spirituality. This means you love learning and traveling to new and distant places, in the mind or physically as well. This means you could be you're really good with philosophy, psychology, medicine, and law. This means you take a big picture and world of view of things. You're attracted of uniting diverse people and ideas in arts or sciences. You could be involved in long distance communications or publishing, like books. You could find you find long journey trips to be romantic. You take pleasure in learning of education of all kinds, and you seek answers in romantic ways. And Venus is in Gemini, so that means you have very genuine communication. You have many and various things to enjoy with little to no deep enjoyment. You're logical in relationships. You rationalize desires and pleasures. You think a lot about relationships. You're a good communicator and you have a golden tongue. You judge things in relation to values rather than facts and details. So I have Mars here, and Mars is the word that's waiting for you, where you have to take action, where you have willpower, what your heart desires, because the Mars is your heart servant. This also means where you're gonna have a lot of conflict. This means where you need to put your passion, energy, and devotion to. So this means you have to put a lot of energy towards learning, discussions, or arguments. You could have a lot of disagreements with teachers or even the father figure in your family. You don't like being told what to do. You like to learn on your own. You want to travel to unfamiliar places to learn or gain knowledge. You could have a lot of problems with traveling or foreigners. This is long distance. This means you give orders and advices, but you don't take any. You're a liberal philosopher, but you don't like to be challenged. And your partner's siblings are probably going to be argumentative, and you're going to get a lot of conflict with them. And Mars in Gemini, so that means you're an aggressive and quick communicator. You speak before you think. This means you have a lot of willpower in speech. Yet you're sarcastic and cutting in your communication. You have a lot of energy for different things, and you're an inspirational speaker. So next we have we have Cancer in the 10th house. So that means you're meant to have a career. This is not everyday work or survival money. This is your career. So this means you're supposed to have a career that caters women, the spa, have a catering business or restaurant, something like that. Your career is pretty much supposed to be involved for and nurturing others. You're supposed to have a career in which sensitivity is on display, which is either positive or negative. You're supposed to have a career that depends on gentleness and capacity to make yourself vulnerable. You're supposed to have a career that changes shyness and tendency to withdraw. You're going to be widely known for your gentleness, sensitivity, and vulnerability. You're full of fear, your mood swings, your mothering skill, the way you're a parent, and or your relationship with your mother as well. This means you could probably be following your mom's footsteps and addressing women's issues through the career. Your career is going to be involving of protecting others. This means you probably defend your career choices and your career paths, and you're overly protective of your reputation and your social standing. So I have Mercury here, and Mercury represents your mind, your message, your logic, where you need to gather info, where you need to exchange info, what you need to know, your voice. So it's in the 10th house. So that means you're going to be a good journalist or public speaker. This means you were very communicative with the dominant parent. And you're communicative. You communicate in areas related to public image, career ambition or success, or just nurturement. You reason out the best way to appear publicly, and you present yourself as a reasonable person. You have constant thought about your career. You enjoy listening and talking about getting ahead and success. Your thinking is in terms of what is beneficial for your career and your public reputation. You know what is desired and how to attain it, or why it's desired. And Mercury is in Cancer, so that means you communicate with emotion. You have the ability to learn quickly. You have good memory. You have the ability to learn quickly, which may be like a habit for you, or like it occurs without conscious awareness. You could have problems with focusing on remembrance than understanding, as in you could just look at something just to remember it instead of to actually understand it. So we have the sun here, and the sun represents your soul, your self-image, your potential, the most beneficial route. Your confidence, your passion, your sparkle, your strength. So the sun is in Cancer. So this means you're nurturing and emotional. You're good at influencing people at the emotional level. You're very understanding of emotions. You're a good organizer, especially at home. You respond according to feelings rather than to think. You're good at thinking new projects and starting them. Your motivation may be to benefit others, especially to your family. This means you would withdraw from situations if they appear to involve conflict. This means safety and feelings are important for you. You value emotional righteousness, and you think based on your emotions. So and the sun's in 10th house, so that means you have to have a position of authority. You cannot work under supervision. This means you're going to revolve around drama at your workplace. You're going to have a lot of opposition with your reputation, your career. This means you impress through public image or your reputation. And you're going to be involved with authorities. You're going to have power in society or power in your profession. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just to make you just go over again. So your mask is a Libra. What you need to heal is you. Okay, that's what you need to heal. You making money. You're, like I said, you're supposed to make money. In I would say, yeah, in a way where it's something to do with occults or mystery or even sexual stuff too, like selling woman products. Just giving you examples for you to narrow down your choices. Your communication is involved a lot with your survival money. You're a Capricorn in the core. Okay, in the core you're a Capricorn. Your personality is Pisces and Aquarius. And on the inside you're a Cancer. But yeah, this is pretty much it. So let me know if you have any questions. Take care.